Shall we start only 21 attendance?
And we can start when others will join.
Okay then. So today class in satellite communication portions, we will see about how to do error control coding, that is how to generate the error control coding at the transmitters. With the help of this error control coding, how we are going to find out the error occurs in the code and correcting it. So this topic for your course, we will be dealing with usually error control coding. Error control coding is of two types. One is automatic repeat request. Another one is forward error correction coding. Forward error correction code. So this we will be calling it as a simple one, ARQ. This one is FEC code. Okay. In automatic repeat request, what happens is, if there is any error found at the receiver, first it will detect the error. So if any error found at the receiver, it will ask for the transmitter to retransmit that packet. Okay. So to have this ARQ, two-way communication between transmitter and to the receiver, I need a two-way communication. That is, one is forward link, another one is reverse link we need. So if a packet is transmitted from the transmitter at the receiver, first it will identify whether any error has occurred or not in the packet. If it finds there is an error occurred, then it will be asking, the receiver will be sending the acknowledgement signal, that is NACCK, that is error has occurred. Okay, error has occurred. If it is send that acknowledgement, ask for the retransmission. Then this transmitter will again transmit that packet once again. So this is called as the automatic repeat request. Second one is forward error correction. So at the receiver, if a packet is transmitted from the transmitter at the receiver, first it will try to find out whether any error has occurred or not. If it identify the error, it will try to correct at the receiver. It won't ask for the retransmission. So for this one, we need only one link between the transmitter and the receiver. Okay, so here itself identification, first deduction will be there, error deduction. Once it is detected, then it will try to correct where the error has occurred and it will try to correct. So in this course, we will be studying about this forward error correction, that is FEC. So this forward error correction code generally classified as the two classes. One is linear block code. Another one is convolutional code. These are the major classification of the forward error correction code. So in linear block code, if you take the classes, that is what are the different types of linear block codes are used in the application. If you take, one is Gole code, Reed-Solomon code, then LDBC code, then Hamming code. Okay, these are the different classes of this linear block code. In convolutional code, if you take, one is turbo code. Okay, actually it is the combination of two codes, turbo code, linear block code, that is Reed-Solomon code, as well as the convolutional code together, they will be calling it as the turbo code. So here we won't go for the how we are going to design the Gole code, LDBC code and all. Here overall we will see how what is the general concept. Okay, we will be using to generate the parity bit at the transmitter, and at the receiver, with the help of the parity bit, how we are going to correct the error, general. So Gole code and all for specific value of N and K, their design slightly it will vary. Okay. Another one, in forward error correction coding, we are going to deal only with binary codes, ones and zeros only. There are non-binary codes also there, but here we are going to deal only with the binary codes. So first we will start with a linear block code. So before designing this linear block code, in communication system, where this error control coding sits, at the transmitter and at the receiver we will see. See, without error control coding, if you take a transmitter, that is communication system design or communication block diagram, one is your binary source. Okay, so here output is ones and zeros will be coming. So this will be, this ones and zeros will be modulated using a digital modulator. So here you will be getting a waveform, time limited waveform. So if it is a BPSK, if you are using, you will be getting the waveform like this way. This is for one particular T. Next particular T, whatever the, if it is again you are transmitting one, like this way, you will be having a waveform will be transmitting from here. So this will be entering into your AWGN channel. AWGN channel. So at the receiver, what we are doing? At the receiver, we are doing the digital demodulator. Digital demodulator. So this waveform plus noise, okay, added together will be the received waveform. So once the received waveform enters into the demodulator, this demodulator output will be ones and zeros. Okay, so this is the a simplified block diagram of the any communication system. So here error control coding, where it is going to sit is binary source, output is zeros and ones. Okay, here I am going to use the error control coding. So error control coding, otherwise called as the channel coding. Okay, so here we are going to use the channel encoder. So input is zeros and ones, output is also zeros and ones. So here what we are going to do is, in linear block code, here zeros and ones are coming. It made into a packet of size k bit. Okay, this we are calling it as the message bit. This we are calling it as message bit. So from the binary source, you will get ones and zeros out. So input to the channel encoder will be the a k bit size of length will be entering into the encoder. That is, block of data will be entering into the channel encoder. The function of the channel encoder is to convert this k bit block length to n bit block length. N bit block length. Okay, this k bit we are calling it as the message word or message bit. So correct word is message word. Okay, k bit is message word, which will be converted into n bit block length. This we are calling it as the code word. This we are calling it as code word. So the output will be ones and zeros. So usually your n will be larger than k. So channel encoder, the function of the channel encoder is add a redundant bit to the k bit, add n minus k redundant bit. This redundant bit is called as the parity bit. So channel encoder function is to convert k bits to the n bit, that is by adding n minus k parity bit. Okay, so here now again you have ones and zeros output. Connect a digital modulator, then passes through the AWGN channel, then at the receiver, digital demodulator, then here the output of the digital demodulator is ones and zeros and ones. Here I will be using the channel decoder. Channel decoder. What is the function of the channel decoder? Input bit is n. Input is n bit length. It has to get k bit message. K bit message word we have to get. Right? It has to convert the received n bit length to the a message word. Then goes the output is ones and zeros, right? So this will be the block diagrams of communication system with coding. Communication system with coding block diagram. So is this clear? So where we are using this error correcting codes we are calling it as the channel coding. So at the transmitter we will have a channel encoder, at the receiver we will have the reverse process to convert n bits to again k bit, we will be using the channel decoder. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So now here you see input zeros and ones, output is zeros and ones. Now I am going to model here this digital modulator, AWGN channel and digital demodulator together. I am going to model as the channel these three blocks, this block and this block combined together, it will be the channel for this channel encoder. Okay, so now the simplified block diagram is binary source followed by channel encoder. Next it is channel, then it is the channel decoder. Okay, so this is your destinations or sync, whatever you can call it as. Right, this will be the block diagram. So input to your channel is ones and zeros, output of the channel is ones and zeros. Okay, so this channel, there are different channels we can use for the channel encoder. Here we are going to use the main one is binary symmetric channel. Binary symmetric channel. So how this channel will be? So if I transmit a 0 to the channel and if the output also zeros, it means no error has occurred in the channel. So the probability here they are taking it as 1 minus p. That is 0 if I transmit, I will be getting received at the channel or channel output if I get 0. The probability of getting 0 input, 0 output is 1 minus p. Similar way, the probability of getting 1 to 1 is 1 minus p. If any error occurs means what? 0 will be converted to 1. So what is the probability that 0 will be converted to 1 is p. 1 will be converted to 0 is p. So this is called as the probability of error. This is probability of correct receiving. Okay, so this way of modeling the channel is called as the binary symmetric channel. Is this clear? So here we will take P of 0 transmitted That is 0 transmitted, 0 received. At the output of the 1 is given as 1 minus P. Probability is 0 transmitted, 1 is received at the output of the channel will be given as P. So here channel is modeled as the conditional probability. The binary symmetric channel is modeled as the conditional probability. Is this part is clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So channel error introducing here means 0 will be converted to 1 or 1 will be converted to 0. This is the error channel is going to introduced in the this block diagram. Okay. So now we will see with the channel encoding. So channel encoder, it takes the input as the block of data. Okay, block of data. Here datas will be zeros and ones. This is k bit length. Channel encoder map it to the a block of length, n bit length. Okay, so here we have seen n greater than k. So this is linear block code. So here how this mapping is done. That is, here I will be adding k bit. For example, generally this channel encoder design, they will be calling it as, what is the coding we are going to use means they will say it as n comma k code I am using, n comma k linear block code. What is the channel coding you are using means they will be mentioning it as n comma k channel linear block code. It means it takes the k bit length as the input and it maps as the n bit length as the output. Okay. So this is the way they used to represent the channel encoders n comma k. Okay. So we will see it how we are going to map. Before that, channel decoder. We will design the channel decoder. So channel decoder, what it has to do is, so here we will take it as U. Okay. Input of length k bit is U. This U we are calling it as the message word. For code word I am using the letter V. Code word. Okay. R will be the received word. So from the receive word, channel decoder has to find out, first step is it has to find out what is the V transmitted. Once V is known, then from here you can find out easily what is U, because U to V is 1-to-1 mapping. Is 1-to-1 mapping. Right. So first, how to design your channel decoder. So here to design the channel decoder, they are using the principle maximum likelihood decoding technique they are using to find out from R what is the one we transmitted. So what is this maximum likelihood decoding? See, first one, we want to design the decoder in such a way that the probability of error, right, for a given R should be minimum. Okay, we have to design the decoder such a way that the probability of error for a given received vector should be minimum. What is error? Error means your VCAP, whatever your decoder is finding, should not be equal to your transmitted code word. Then we are calling it as error. Right? This is the error. If VCAP is not equal to V, it is some other code word, then we are telling it as the error. So we have to minimize the probability of E given for a received vector, right? So instead of minimizing this probability, what I can do is I can maximize the correct probability. What is the correct probability? V cap should be equal to V for a given received vector R. Right? I have to find out the exact one. That probability, maximize this probability means it's a true conditional probability. V cap should be equal to V for a given R. Clear? Up to this is clear?
Yes,
See, if you have any doubts, you can ask me. Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, this received word and the code word, what is the difference between that?
Your received word is nothing but your code word plus error.
Okay, ma'am.
Right? Channel introduces the error, right? That will be your received word. So from here, received word, we have to find out, the decoder has to find out what is the transmitted code vector or code word. Okay. So if this is there, then the probability of error, exactly if it is finding, the probability of error will be 0. So we have to design the decoder in such a way that it reduces, minimize the probability of error, right? Or maximize the error detection probability for a given R.
Okay, ma'am, then V cap is same as R, right?
V cap is not same as R. From R, see, for example, I am transmitting here 0, 1, 0 is my message word. Okay. K, I am taking it as 3. So I am adding extra here. We will take N as 5. So 0, 1, 0, I am adding additional 2 bits, 1 and 1. Right? How we are going to design this bits, we will see it in channel encoder. So now the length is N bit. So this is your code word. N is here 5 code word. So when it enters into the channel, some of the bits can be made as an error. Okay, channel introduces the error. For example, it introduces the third bit as error. So 1, 1, 1, 1. This is the R I will be getting here. Received vector. So the channel decoder, what it has to do, its function is from this received vector, it has to identify what is the transmitted code word, that is this one. Clear? So from R, it has to find out what is the V.
Okay, ma'am.
So to deal with estimated one, I just put this cap.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So this is the one we want to maximize for designing your received vector, right? So it means this is equal to P of V by R. We want to maximize. Right? So P of V given R, according to the base rule, I can write it as P of R given V into P of V divided by P of R, right? So P of V is what? P of V is the probability of the transmitted code word. So all the code word, the transmitted probability will be equal probability. So maximizing this one, okay, this is going to be constant for all received vector. This is also independent of our design rule. So it means we will be going to maximize, instead of maximizing P of V given R, I am going to maximize P of R given V, right? That is, what is the probability that R is the received bit when V is transmitted? Okay, this is the one I want to maximize. R is what? R is the received vector, consists of how many bits? N bits it is consist of. V is what? V is the transmitted code word, consists of N bits. Okay, so the occurrence of each bits are independent of each other. So this P of R given B is what? Joint probability. So since the occurrence of each bit is independent, I can write it as the individual probability N P of Ri given Vi. Right? So this is R is consist of n bits 0, R1 up to, so I will start with 1 itself, 1, 2 up to Rn. So these R1, R2 and all, it takes the value either 0 or 1. Okay, B is your transmitted code word, V1, V2 up to Vn, n bits it is consist of. Okay. So here I have taken each individual probability R1 given V1 into P of R2 given V2 up to P of Rn given Vn. This will be my joint probability R given V. Right? So this is the one product representation. Since it has the n bits, I is equal to 1 to n. Right? So maximizing of P of R given V, that is I have to maximize individual probability 1 to n P of given Vi. Right? So here we are dealing with the maximum likelihood decoder. So instead of maximizing this probability, we can maximize the log of this probability. Since the log is a monotonically increasing function, both are equal. Maximizing this one, it is same as maximizing of P of R given V. Okay, in this case, this product will become a summation. I is equal to 1 to n log of P of Ri given Vi. So this is the probability I want to maximize. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So now each individual probability we will see. That is P of Ri given Vi. Okay, where I you can take it as 1. That is R1 given V1. So we are assuming it as binary symmetric channel 0, 1, 1. Okay. If Ri equal to Vi, that is for example, we will take Vi is 0. Okay, 0 is transmitted. If Ri also 0, then what is this probability? 1 minus P. Okay, 1 minus P. Whereas Ri given Vi, if Ri is not equal to Vi, what is the probability? P, right? This is P. So for example, you transmitted V and received is R. So for example, here D error occurs. That is D bits are error. D bits are error. So this summation will become D times of log P plus among these n bits, D bits are error, then the corresponding probability is P. So D into log P, remaining n minus D bits are no error, then the corresponding probability is 1 minus P. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
What about others?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? P of R given B will be equal to this one. So this factor we have to maximize. See, your n is constant. P and 1 minus P and all, it will be constant. So this I can write it as D. Here minus D is there into log of. So I can write it as log of log A minus log B. So I can write it as log of A by B plus n times of log of 1 minus p. Right? So here we are going to make one assumption for a binary symmetric channel. Okay, for a binary symmetric channel, probability of error is less than 0.5. Why probability of error less than 0.5? If the probability of error is greater than 0.5, then it means if I transmit 0, definitely I am going to receive it as 1 because error probability is higher. If I transmit, okay, if I transmit 1, then definitely I am going to get 0, right? So it is sure event, that is whatever we are going to transmit, it is going to be a error, right? So here we are going to choose the condition that probability of error is less than 0.5. If it is less than 0.5, this factor is going to have a negative value. Negative value. So if that is the case, log of P of R given B will be equal to n times of log of 1 minus P plus D times of log P by 1 minus P. Okay, so this is going to be a negative one. Okay, here it is going to be a negative one. So maximizing this probability is equivalent to what? If I want to maximize this probability, what I have to do?
Minimize the negative.
Minimize this one. So here P 1 minus P and all fixed. It means I have to minimize this D. Minimize the D means what we will see. Okay. So maximizing this probability means we have to minimize the D. We have to take D is what? D bit is error, right? So here we will see what is the minimization of D means. See, for example, I have a two code word I am having. Okay, you can take the length of the code word n as 6. So 1 0 1 1 1 0. This is one code word C1. Next code word you can take it as 0 0 1 0. Right? This is the next code word. So the distance between these two code words, we are calling it as the Hamming distance. This is called as Hamming distance. How we are going to measure this distance? Hamming distance is nothing but number of place. Number of place. These code words going to differ. Okay. So first position, first place, if you see, both the one are same bits. Second position, both the one are same. Third bit position, it is differ. So it is one place it differ. Next one, it differs. So two place it differ. Then these two are same. So it means the Hamming distance is 2. Two place it is differing. So the distance between C1 and C2, they are calling it as the distance as 2. Okay, so the Hamming distance or D of C1 comma C2 will be equal to 2. Is it clear? What do you mean by Hamming distance? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so it means I have to, this is the Hamming distance. Okay, between C1, between any code word, this is the way we will be measuring the Hamming distance. So now here, maximizing this one, how we are going to treat in terms of the code word. For example, B is transmitted. Okay. So I have a, okay, B is transmitted. Based on the error, based on the error at the channel, I am getting R as the received word or received code word. So decoder, what it has to do is function is once R is received, it has to find out the Hamming distance between the code word. For example, I have a set of code word C1, C2 up to some C2 power k. We will say it what it is. Some code word I have. Okay. So what it has to do is once R is received, it has to find out the distance between Hamming distance between R and C1, R and C2, R and C2 power k. So whichever code word the distance between is having a minimum Hamming distance, then I will be choosing that as your code word, received code word. That is, that one will be the transmitted code word. Okay. So here the logic is once R is received, from the set of code word, we try to find out the Hamming distance. First find the Hamming distance between these two, so that Hamming distance can be D1, here D2 up to D power 2 power k. So among this distance, which is having the minimum distance, for example, D1 is the minimum compared to the rest of the things. If that is the case, we will be choosing C1 is the transmitted code word. Or here I should not use V1, right? V1, V2, V. So V1 is the transmitted code word. Is this clear? Is it clear? See, if it is getting confused, you please tell me. I will repeat it once again. Okay.
It is clear, ma'am.
Once you just see the channel encoding, then channel decoder will be clear. See, I have a simple example. I'm taking 6,3. That is, K is 3-bit length, N is 6-bit length. Okay. So K is 3-bit length is input to the message word. What are the different possible message word we can have? The message word can be 00, 001, 010, 011, 100, 101, 110, 111. Right? So how many message word combination you can have? 2 power k, that is 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Message word will be of length. That is how many message combination we can have is 8 message word we can have. Okay. So here we are taking the message as the input 3-bit. Output will be the code word of length 6-bit. Right. So it means I'm going to first 3 bits will be my message. Okay. First 3 bits. First 3 bits will be the message word. Okay, 1. Followed by a 3 parity bits I'm going to add. P1, P0, P1, P2. Right? Then the total length of this code word will be 6-bit. So this is the message bit. General one we can take M0, M1, M2. So this is M0, M1, M2. Right, I have to add a parity bit, 3-bit parity, so that final length I will be getting it as 6 bits. So how to add this parity bit? So for example, how to generate this P0, how to generate P1, P2. What is the information I have? I have M0, M1, M2. So what I can do is P0, I can choose it as M0 plus M1. Here I can do general, you can take any combination. Okay. So here I can take M1 plus M2. Here P2 is M0 plus M1 plus M2. In this way, I can generate this P0 bit, P1 bit, P2 bit. Here this addition, here we are using the modulo 2 adder because your bit has to be here P0, P1 should take the value either 0 or 1. So modulo 2 operator we are going to use here. Okay. So for example, we will take this is the message. What is the corresponding code word for this one? So first, all three message bit you write. P0 will be what? Modulo 2 adder of these two. Adding these two, you will be getting 0 bit. Adding these two, you will be getting 0 bit. Adding all the three, you will be getting 0 bits. So now we will see what is the modulo adder. 0, 0 is 0. 0, 1 is, if you add these two,
1.
if you
1.
add these two, it is 1. 1, 0,
1.
1. 1 and 1,
0.
0. Okay. Now you see second one, how I'm going to form the code word. So I will be keeping the message word as such, first 3 bit followed by parity P0. P0 is adding of these 2 bits. So it is 0. Adding of these 2 bits, I will be getting P1, that is 1. Adding of all the 3 bits, I will be getting 1. Right. So next one here, 0, 1, 0. Adding of these 2 bits, 1. These 2 bits, 1. All the 3 bits, it is 1. So 0, 1, 1. Adding these two, 1. Adding these two, it will be 0. Adding all the 3 will be 0. Next one, 1, 0, 0. Adding these two, 1. These two, 0. Adding all the 3, 1. So here 1, 0, 1. 1, 1, 0. 1, 1, 0. 1, 1, 1. First is 0, 1, then 0. Here it is 0, 0, 1. Okay. So like this way we generated the code word. So this is the one I was telling you. This one, V1, V2 and all I am telling, right? So these are the code word it can generate from this message combination. Okay. So this is the code word. You can call it as V1, V2, V3, V4, V5, V6, V7, V8. Okay. So these are the code word. Now we will take your message bit example. 011 is the message bit. So channel encoders output will be what? This one. Okay. So your channel encoder input bit will be 011. So it will map it as 011, then 1, 0, 0. Correct, right? So this will be your code word or transmit. This is the one we are going to transmit. So this is the code word. Right. So at the receiver, channel decoder. So it is added with noise. Here error is 0 will be converting into 1, 1 will be converting into 0 if error is occurred in that position. For example, a error is occurred at this position. Okay. So it means the received bit will be 0, 1, 1, 1. 0 is now turned into 1, 0. So this will be your received vector R. Okay. So what is the error vector it is getting added here? Wherever error has occurred, you place it 1. Remaining 1, you add 0. That is 0 included. This is the error vector. So if you add these two, 0 plus 0, it is 0. Wherever addition is modulo 2 addition. Okay. 0 plus 1, 1. Here it is 1, 1, 1, 0. See, this is your received vector. So what happens here? Your transmitted vector is added with the error vector. Error vector is also n bit length. Okay. Wherever error occurs at that position, the bit will be 1. Error bit position will be 1. Rest of the bits and all it is 0. This you will be getting it as V. Okay. So channel decoding logic, what we have seen, it is a minimum distance decoding. Okay. So this is the one received. Please remember that code vector. 410. Okay, so your R will be your received vector is 0 1 1 1 1 0. This is the received vector. So what decoder does? It finds the distance between these two. What is the distance between these two? Please tell me.
4.
Distances, first bit is same, second bit differ, third bit differ, fourth differ, fifth differ. So here it is 4. Right? Next one. What is the distance between these two? Here it differs.
3.
3. Okay. Next one.
2.
Tell me.
2, ma'am.
2. Okay.
1.
Next. 1. Which one? Or
Fourth.
here? Fourth one. Okay.
5.
5.
2.
2.
3.
3.
3. No, sorry, 4.
Okay.
4.
So which is having the minimum distance? Minimum distance is 1. So which vector? Fourth vector, right? So this is the transmitted code word. Right? This is the transmitted code word. Then the corresponding message will be this one. Is it clear? Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
For everyone, it is clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So,
Ma'am.
yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, here why we are not finding distance between V1 and V3 like?
Distances. What is the distance we are trying to find out is, see, these are the vectors, transmitted vectors can be possible combination. Okay. So without this, other than this, we won't transmit. Okay. Based on the message, this will be mapped. So these are the possible transmitted code vector. Received is, this is the one. So we are trying to find out the distance between V1 and R, V2 and R. So whichever is the closest distance, that vector we are transmitting it as the transmitted vector. See, if your message bit is going to be this one, then the code word, transmitted code word will be this. Clear? So if any error occurs, based on that we will get R. Then we will try to find out the distance among this one and identify which is having the minimum distance. That will be your transmitted vector we will be choosing. Clear?
Ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
I have a doubt, ma'am. Here we faced a problem of losing 1 bit only.
Yes, yes.
Suppose we had a problem of losing 2-3 bits.
Very
then
good, very good.
Will the same case work?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. So, very good question. So here we have taken only 1 bit error. If it is more bit error occurs, will it able to identify the correct transmitted bit based on the minimum distance decoding? The answer to this one is no. Each receiver has, each channel encoding has the capability, how much error it can detect and how much bit it can correct. There is a capability. So only those many errors only it can detect and correct. So in next class we will see, okay, error correction and error detection capability of this N, K code. Clear? So this is the overall logic. Now we will make it as a structural one, how they are mapping and all. Slowly we will enter into the simple decoding logic I told you, right? So how, in what basis we will do the error detection and what basis we will do the error correction, how many error it can do. If I want to do the error correction, what is the decoding structure I should have, all those things we will see it later. Okay, so this is the overall idea of the channel encoding and the decoding. What is the decoding logic we are using is minimum distance decoding logic we are going to use in order to correct the error. Okay, so next class we will see more of deduction capability and all. So now I just recap what are the things we have seen. General classification for error control coding is two types. One is automatic repeat request, another one is forward error correction coding. In automatic repeat request, at the receiver we won't do any correction. Okay, its receiver functionality is to identify whether any error occurred or not. If any error occurred, then it will send to the transmitter error has occurred in this packet. So transmitter will be retransmitting that packet. Okay, so it is for to happen this one we need two links. One is forward link, another one is reverse link. Next one is forward error correction. Here the receiver functionality is from the received vector. It has to identify whether any error is occurred or not. So this functionality is called as error detection functionality. Next one, if error detection, if it is found out, error has detected means next it has to correct there itself at the receiver. So then this logic we are calling it as the error correction functionality, that is error correction coding happening here. So forward error correction at the receiver we will identify the detect and correct the error. So based on this forward error correction, it is classified as a two type. One is linear block code, another one is convolutional code. So in linear block code, what happens here is we will be taking a block of data. Okay. So here what we have seen is just a communication block diagram we have seen. In the communication block diagram, where our error control code going to sit in this block diagram. So here error control coding at the transmitter, what we are doing, we are adding a parity bit. At the receiver, what we are doing, with the help of the parity bits, we are going to identify the error as for error detection, and with the help of the parity bit itself, we are correcting the bits. Okay. So to add the extra bits at the transmitter, we are using one block, that is channel encoder. At the receiver, we are using one block, that is channel decoder. Channel decoder has to detect and correct. So rest of the block, digital modulation, AWGN channel, demodulation block combined together, I am taking it as a channel, that is binary symmetric channel. The input to the channel is 0 or 1. The output to the channel is also 0 or 1. If 0 is transmitted and 0 received output of the channel, then there is no error has occurred. The probability for 0 by 0 is 1 minus p. If 0 transmitted, 1 is received, the probability is error probability, that is defining it as p. So why it is called symmetry? Because both the ones and zeros, that is p of 1 given 0 and p of 0 given 1 are equal. So it is called as a symmetricity, symmetric binary symmetric channel. Okay. Next, we have seen about the linear block code. So here the terms are very important. Input is called as the message word. Output of the channel encoder is called as the code word. Input is message word is k bit length. Output is n bit length, where n is larger than k. Okay. Next one, we have taken a channel decoder. What is the functionality? B is transmitted when it enters into the binary symmetric channel. B is added with the error pattern and you will be getting R, received word. So the received word will be entering into the channel decoder. With the help of the R, along with the parity bits sitting in the R, it has to find out what is the transmitted code vectors. Among this 1 to 8, which is the transmitted code vectors we have to find out. So the channel decoder does that process. So next one we have seen what is the decoding logic channel decoder it has to do. So we have to design the channel decoder in such a way that the probability of error has to be minimized for a given R. So we want to minimize P of R given, that is E given R. Error vector means what? V trans, that is V estimated. At decoding we are estimating this V, no, it should not be equal to V means then error has occurred. That is decoder does the error. That is it is not able to identify the correct code word. Okay, so we want to, it means minimize this error is equivalent to maximizing the V estimate equal to V. So P of V given R we have to maximize. Using Bayes rule, I can write P of V given R as R given V into P of V divided by P of R. P of V is the transmitted probability of the code word. Since 8 code word are here, we are having all are taken as the equiprobable. So this doesn't affect the maximizing because whatever value we are taking, it is going to be a constant of something. Okay. Even for the received P of R for the decoding logic, this rule that P of R, it won't affect the decoding one. So we are just going to remove these two probability. So maximizing P of V given R is equal to maximizing R given V. So I just took R given V. This is called as the likelihood probability. This is called as the likelihood probability. Likelihood probability is nothing but our channel probability. Okay. So R have n bits, V have n bits. So each bit, in that code vector, each bit is independent of each other. So we can take it as the product of probability of each one Ri given Vi.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yes.
We assume that each bits are independent, but while calculating that means Ri or Vi, we took that parity of means we have 3 bits there means k bits and we convert it to n bit code word, right?
Trying to say, see, this is the one you're trying to say. See, occurrence of this bit doesn't affect the occurrence of this one, right?
No, but occurrence of first 3
This
bits
bit.
will
First, no. See, this is the message bit as such I have taken. Okay. This 0 occurrence, whether it affects the occurrence of this one, whether any logic, any connection between the 0. For example, here 0 means it should have any pattern of here. Is there is any connection? No, right? Here between this 0 and this 0, any connection?
no.
No, that's what we are telling. It is independent.
No, but occurrence of here 0 at the first place and will affect the occurrence of 0 at that means, fourth place, right?
See, each bit, see here whether it is, okay, the logic what you are saying is since we are taking the parity bit P as the addition of these two,
Yes,
right, you are telling there is a dependency.
yes,
right. So it is not in that way. I will tell you later why it is independent also. Okay. Here I just took, please mute your mic. Here I took the combination P, P1, P2 in this way. It is M0, M1. Later we will see how we are generating this P0, P1, P2 and all. Okay. So here for giving you some explanation how to generate this P0, P1, I just took the combination of M0 and M1. Later this one will be coming to the vector space. From there we will identify the subspace basis vectors and all. It is going to be entirely different. Okay. So here the assumption is, see here P0, this bit P0, I can take it as addition of these two also. I can take addition of these two, anything. Okay. So this concept, you please remember, I will tell you later. Okay. When it comes to the vector space, I will make it clear that point.
okay, ma'am.
So here it is the product of each individual P of Ri given Vi. Okay. So instead of maximizing this probability, I can take a log of this probability. When I took log, this product will become the summation. Next, I am making an assumption that there is a d bit error has occurred in the received one. So it means this summation will become d times of log p plus n minus d bits are correct. The probability will be 1 minus p. So log of 1 minus p. Rearranging it, we will be getting this one. So if I want to maximize this one, okay, P of R given V, I have to that is minimize this one, okay, minimize this subtractions. So it means this value is constant, this value is constant, only factor is D. This D we are calling it as the Hamming distance, okay. So it means I want to maximize this log of R given V means I want to minimize the distance between the transmitted vectors and the code vector, received vectors and the code vectors. If I could minimize this distance, then it is equivalent to maximize this P of R given V. So what is the distance? Here we are calling it as name it as Hamming distance. The distance between two code widths, number of place where the code word differs. Okay, that is the bits are differing. So here if you take third and fourth bits are differing. So we are 2 bits position it is differing. So the Hamming distance is 2. Right. Okay then. So with this logic we identify that any error has occurred, R received bit. With R we have seen the distance among V1 to V8. Among this one we found the minimum distance is 1. So that will be the corresponding code word. It means V4 is the code word. Then the corresponding message word for this one is 011, that is 1-to-1 mapping. Since it is, we can easily from V, we can identify what is the message word. Okay. Next class we will see error correction capability and how to generate this M2 B also, that is a message to code word also we will see. So if you have any doubt, you can ask me now. Otherwise, we will end this session.